inside the root, crammed in as you are with each other and with 8 shady salamanders. You're very tired. You've been flying all night. You've been up for probably about 20 hours, well past a normal amount of time. And you all huddle in together, pass the fuck out, and at length, morning comes, slept through into early afternoon, at which point you are roused by the sounds of Slick and his companions getting the little cart ready to continue the journey to Brilda. You have a few minutes to yourselves while you are awake, waiting for the cart to be ready. You've had a somewhat traumatic past 12 hours. What do you say to each other in this, not morning, but early afternoon daylight?
Lucas has been deathly quiet. He's usually a pretty quiet kid, but since we're becoming a quail, he's definitely been more like cheerful and a little hyper, but after yesterday, I think it's safe to assume he didn't sleep very well and is just very withdrawn. It's a lot for any 14-year-old to have suddenly turned into a quail, and like that he was way more okay with because it sounded like something out of an anime or any other sort of science fiction fantasy story. Burning a man alive is not that kind of experience. And so I think Lucas is just sort of feathers really slipped back, a little hunched down, and is just quietly eating whatever quails have for breakfast.
I think Olive has been struggling to come up with the words to comfort her siblings in this moment. I think she feels a shared sense of guilt for what happened back there. And despite the sort of normal sibling rivalry and combativeness that we sometimes have, she and Lucas have just like shared a couple knowing looks of just like, okay, that was rough, but we're gonna get through this. We gotta just stay focused on the task at hand.
Cordelia did kind of skip out on the worst of this. Passes absolutely out. On a day when she'd been awake less long, she might have done some tossing and turning and thinking about stuff before bed. This is not that day. But she does also wake up fairly suddenly and kind of is looking at the siblings and looking at the salamanders, or where the salamanders were. And as Olive and Lucas are kind of waking up, or during however much time is there, I'm watching, again, the salamanders, or while the salamanders were, where the salamanders could come from, because they are very obviously bad news. There's this little feeling in the back of my head that, maybe we should have seen this coming a little bit more. And maybe we need to be watching out for the next thing that they're going to try and do.
Give me an insight check, Cordelia.
That's an 18.
With an 18, the salamanders are going about their business without really much attention to the three of you. You are aware that at minimum, they don't particularly care about your well-being. No surprises there. You also sense a slight avoidance of eye contact, and you have a vague sense of unease that they expect or consider it possible that something unfortunate may befall you in the near future. You don't sense ill intent. You sense pure self-interested neutrality.
Yeah, like they're not gonna be pulling us out of any fires per se.
Let's not talk about fires, though.
I continue to stare them down with only the intensity that the precocious preteen can.
One of them actually starts to look uncomfortable enough with your stare that he looks over.
Hey, what you looking at, kid?
Oh, me?
Yeah, the one staring. What you looking at?
Oh, nothing. I'm just staring into space. You're just in the way.
Yeah, well.
Fucking kids. Turns away and goes back to preparations.
Cordelia chalks this one up as a win.
Cordelia doesn't see this, but if someone were to look at Lucas in that moment where she was sort of sassing the salamander, I think Lucas is looking uncomfortable and a little frightened with the hostility Cordelia has towards the salamander, but then just sort of tamps it down really quick. So there's a moment where he goes to sort of like nudge Cordelia in a like stop that thing, but doesn't.
Cordelia gets exactly none of this. Because while they're clearly shady, and they're not looking out for us, it's fine. I'm just a kid. We're just saying stuff.
Yeah, I think mortality is weighing on Lucas a little more than Cordelia right now.
Slick and the salamanders finish getting ready, and all of you depart during this afternoon on foot through the forest. The path is not straightforward. There's not a road here, though you can see evidence of a worn footpath where the salamanders have gone down this route previously. But you have to wind around a lot of roots and rocks and various undergrowth, which to you is kind of overgrowth. And you don't make quick progress. You would be able to travel much faster by flying, but of course, you don't know where to go. So you are stuck at the pace that the salamanders set, which is limited by pulling a very large rock. Other birds chirp overhead. Purely just chirping. You don't hear words. You hear chittering squirrels running to and fro. There's no language other than the conversation that the three of you make. The salamanders say a word here or there, but overall aren't talking much. A slight breeze picks up, and you hear both the rustle of leaves in the wind and a bit far off, but getting closer, the sound of wind blowing through tall grass. The loam and moisture of the forest starts to mingle with a more dusty smell of an open field. After a few hours of walking, it's just before golden hour. It's been about 3 hours. You reach the edge of the forest. Before you is tall grass. From the ground, you can't see above it. It's probably 3 or so human feet tall, which from your perspective is towering. So from your height, all you see is a wall of grass and no further tree branches overhead. There is here, too, a worn path into the grass. It's a bit like a corn maze with the tallest corn you have ever seen in your life. As you are traveling through this space, I would like perception checks.
15.
19 for me.
18.
Seeing this better than the void into which all mortal lives eventually fall.
All of you see just a bit off of the path through the gaps between the blades of grass as you walk by a disc made out of stone or ceramic. It's large. It's probably, from your perspective, about 40 feet in diameter. And as you walk, you pass more of these here and there. Many of them are broken and shattered.
Can I do like a history or a nature check to figure out what these are?
I'll take history or investigation.
It's the same for both, so that's 22.
With a 22, you've seen a reference to this in books or old videos. Sometimes, as a recreational activity, people practice target practice by shooting ceramic discs into the air, which then they fire at in lieu of firing at game. You also, now looking for it, see some shotgun shells here and there.
First thing I want to do is check that magical sewing needle that I got. What is it?
You can ritually cast detect magic while walking. With that, I will allow you to make an Arcana check to try to see what is up with it.
17.
This is a +1 sewing needle.
Amazing.
In diegetic terms, it's real accurate. It's odd to have this in a sewing needle, and it raises some interesting questions because it's a human-sized sewing needle. So is magic real for humans too, and not just quails? Did a seamstress or a tailor enchant a sewing needle to have a slightly easier time with their stitching? Or was this recovered from the human world and enchanted by small creatures for combat?
What school of magic is this enchantment?
This enchantment is transmutation. The sewing noodle is sharper and sturdier and resistant to wear and breaking.
I think Lucas is going to cast message over to Cordelia. And it probably in the first words he's said today, he's just going to be like, "Hey, Cordy, can you come back here for a second? I just want to talk to you really privately."
Yeah, Cordy hears this, kind of perks. I'll just hop back gently.
So, I don't know what's out there, but there's this sewing needle I found. And he sort of pulls it out of his feathers and sort of very carefully sort of point away over to Cordelia. Is like, I don't know if we're going to have to fight something out here, but like this'll probably help with killing things, right?
Cordelia is torn. Because on the one hand, Lucas is being very unlike himself and very quiet and weird, and he's uncomfortable, and that's bad. Doesn't know what to do about it, but it's bad. And on the other hand, Shiny slides the needle into her own kind of feathery pockets that she's been learning how to use. Can't quite stop herself from doing a little hop of like, I got a present. Present. Not as good as a fireball, but if you think it'll help.
Oh, at the word fireball, he winces.
Oh.
Yep. And he just walks away. he doesn't know what to do. No one has prepared any of these children for what do you do if you kill someone.
Yeah, I would love to know how that works into the actualization curriculum. Cordy just watches him go, kind of logs that one as away as it's probably bad. We're just gonna keep going.
You hear mourning doves cooing in the afternoon. They are just a bit off to the side. There's sort of a small clearing within the grass. There's a small group of mourning doves nesting here. 3 of them look at you somewhat curiously and walk over and begin following your caravan at a slight distance, just walking after you.
Olive is like, if birds can sweat, Olive is sweating. Like, Olive is so uncomfortable by this. Like, it's been a few weeks being quails, but she's still not used to it. She just had to use her wings for 20 hours, and that was, like, harrowing for her after an experience that already left her shell-shocked, and now more birds are following her. She just, like, this is too much for her to handle right now.
The doves coo, strut up closer, and begin bobbing their heads and kind of doing the bird thing, looking at you with one eye and then the other. They are giving attention to you, Olive, whether you like it or not.
Olive's just, like, trying to, like, use her wings to just, like, hide under the feathers as best she can as she's continuing walking, just like, do not look at me, please do not look at me.
Lucas sort of either steps back or to the side, just sort of interposes himself in marching order in between Olive and the others, and just sort of messages Cordelia and is like, hey, can you figure out what's up with them? It's not making Olive comfortable.
Yeah. Cordelia's also seen the birds come up and it's like, is this normal? Can I roll nature to know if this is normal?
To know if birds... What?
If birds are normal?
Birds real?
Are birds normal?
You can roll nature, but I don't know what you're actually asking.
Yeah, so I want to roll nature to know, is it normal for mourning doves to just sort of start following other birds or salamanders?
Yeah, give me a roll.
6. Are birds real?
With a 6, you don't know. It seems plausible. You think from the way they move and their general appearance that probably mourning doves are in the same general family of birds as California quails. But beyond that, I mean, you know that animals in general can be curious, but you don't have any special insight into this specific situation.
Yeah.
I think after more time of their just following and staring and just like their glares just bearing down on Olive, she finally just like snaps and just like turns around towards them and just goes, Can I help you?
Oh,
So she just got a coup back? Is that what just happened?
She just gets a coup back and kind of like more of the head flipping back and forth, eyeing you.
Okay. Can you talk? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Give me an insight check.
Okay. That's a 22.
These birds don't understand you.
Interesting.
With a 22, you think that they are curious about other birds in their area, and you think they're curious about the glowing purple rock the salamanders are towing.
Interesting. So, despite being a quail, I do have speak with animals if I want to cast that.
hell yeah.
Do we feel that that's worth it?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. I mean, we're just walking. They're just going to
Yeah.
keep following us.
Okay.
Never not be speaking with animals.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and cast speak with animals.
All right. What do you say?
I think at this point, like now that she's understood that there is a bit of a communication breakdown, she's still very alarmed by these birds, very uncomfortable in their presence, but is trying to just like swallow that and be a little kind and courteous to try and figure out what's going on. And she just goes, "Are you doing okay? Is everything all right?"
Yeah, I'm doing great. The one in front responds.
Okay, is there a reason you're following us? Do you need something?
Oh, you look friendly, and you have a nice rock, and we were just kind of curious what was going on with you guys.
Oh, okay. Have you seen rocks like this before, or
No.
it's just okay.
So fast.
So fast. Cool. Well, I don't know. Maybe give us a little bit of space, please.
Okay, yeah, do you want us to... We can stop following you, we just... Is that your rock?
It's, ours adjacent. We did come across it recently, let's say, but we're trying to find this sorceress named Brilda, and these salamanders are leading the way.
I don't know what that is.
Okay.
What's a Brilda?
All right, yeah, that's fine. You don't
Ask if they've seen anything. Ask if they've seen anything strange.
Yeah. Have you seen anything unusual lately, maybe? Anything like out of the ordinary?
Mostly that rock. Things are here like they normally are. You might want to be careful though. If you're not from here, sometimes, big things come by and they make a loud noise. Don't fly if that happens. Do not, you will die.
That's unnerving. Well, thank you for the warning. No, I appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem. Just stay in the grass.
Okay, yeah.
Having seen, like, the clay birds and the real birds talk about the clay birds, Lucas is going to look around and look for dog paw prints.
That is a survival check.
Oh boy, Lucas is bad at it. I think he will, after Olive is finished, he's like, do you think we'll, send dogs to flush us out?
Oh, God. I mean, maybe.
And yeah, he's gonna look around for...
Yeah.
That's a nat one. He's too in his own head.
Now that idea has been raised, I think Olive is gonna do some searching as well for that.
Yeah, same roll.
That is a 16.
With a 16, You don't find any paw prints. There's only so much you can search, and you're along a very narrow, small area. But you do see a strand of fur clinging to a blade of grass.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Cordelia's just kind of saying to herself, so birds can talk, but only quails?
Yeah, that is interesting.
You've heard other birds in Crittervale talk.
Yeah.
There are lots of magpies, blue jays, sparrows.
Are there any pigeons?
There are no pigeons in Crittervale. There are doves, though.
Oh,
Okay, there are doves. So only animals in Crittervale can talk? Is that the deal?
Kind of seems like we did move into somewhere else.
Yeah.
Capital S, capital E.
Yeah, well, I wonder, is that like a magic thing or a dialect thing? Like we've gone out of the country and we can't speak the language, or only creatures in Crittervale have the magical ability to communicate like that?
Hey, is it okay if we keep following? We really like the rock.
You know what? You can do what you want. I'm just gonna maybe not look at you, if that's okay.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Olive, do you want me to, like, scare them off or something?
No, I feel bad. It's fine. Listen, I can get through it. I can, I've seen you two. I've seen my own wings long enough that I can put up with it. But, yeah, not thrilled about it, let's say.
Can you ask them if they know a Crittervale?
Yeah. Hey, I don't know what I call you. Doves? What's your name, by the way?
Oh, my name is Cumulus.
Oh, Cumulus. That's a pleasure to meet you. I'm wondering, have you heard of Crittervale? Are you aware of it?
No.
I mean,
Flawless.
I suppose what did we expect, right?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, cool. That
was a modified 3.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Cool. Thank you. Cumulus? Was it Cumulus?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Cumulus. That was very helpful.
Do they know what's ahead of us in that path, maybe? Like, I know they're not that smart, but...
Hey, Cumulus, my brother wants to know, do you happen to know what's, like, ahead of us on this path? Do you know where we're headed?
Oh, there's a big tree, but I wouldn't nest in it because, you don't want to leave the grass.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, that makes sense, sure. You're not aware of, like, anything under the tree, like by the roots, maybe?
Stretching the limits of his little birdie mind.
No.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, you've been super helpful, Cumulus. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, thanks.
And they're still following us.
Yeah, you told them they could, so
yeah.
they like the rock.
I'm just not looking at them now.
At this point, there is an ear-splitting bang. And I would like the 3 of you to roll wisdom saves.
Oh, God.
Okay.
19.
I got a 22.
That was almost a 0,
Oh.
but instead was a 6.
Oh.
Okay, Lucas and Olive, you experience a moment of mind blank terror, but it only lasts a fraction of a second, and you recover your senses quickly. Cordelia, the youngest quail in the group, this is loud, this is startling. You are filled with pure panic in both the colloquial sense and the mechanical sense. You must flee from your current location as fast as you can, which requires the use of your fly movement.
Yep.
Of the 3 doves, the 2 whose names you have not learned also take flight. You hear Cumulus shout after them, which Olive hears as,
Hey, you know the drill. What are you doing?
Yeah, I bolt.
Oh, God.
Like, long diagonal up out of the grass.
Oh gosh.
We are gone.
Can Olive...
Can one of us try?
That's what I was just about to ask. Can Olive, like, try and grab Cordy as she's taking off?
Tackle her out the air?
give me a dexterity roll.
Okay.
I got a 17.
I got an 8.
Okay. Cordelia, give me a dex save.
Yeah, let's go. That was also an 18.
Damn. Can I cast something?
Unless you can cast as a reaction, it's not going to be fast enough.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
With an 18, Cordelia, you are too fast for your siblings to stop, and I have to follow up with asking, what is your armor class?
14.
All right, well, meets it, beats it.
Blah.
So I'm afraid I'm going to have to roll some damage dice.
Oh, God.
Nope, I was too fast. Lucas could not stop me from following the siren song of pure, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Cordelia and one of the 2 unnamed doves are hit. There is a spray of blood and feathers. This happens too fast to see exactly what the nature of the injury is. The dove falls to the ground. Cordelia, you take 31 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh, are you up?
So remind me how going negative works in 5e?
Yeah, you're not one hit killed by this, but you do immediately fall unconscious.
Don't even have time to shriek.
A shotgun has not, you didn't get a direct hit from the shotgun. A direct hit would have killed you, but it did clip your wing to the point where you're not going to be able to use it for a long time, if at all.
Oh, God.
You do fall. You're small, you have hollow bones, you do not fall with enough force to take a failed death saving throw. So you simply fall to the ground relatively lightly, unconscious, in a bloodied mess. The other dove is dead. The dove that didn't get hit, that flew away, is gone, nowhere to be seen. And Cumulus shouts,
Oh God.
and flies back, but at the level of the grass, back the way that they came from. That last exclamation, both Olive and Lucas, you hear it as words, not coos.
For clarity, did Olive and Lucas both get like a solid view of what just happened to Cordelia, or was the grass blocking it?
You saw everything that happened.
Okay.
There are bloody feathers everywhere. Some have fallen on you and Lucas. Some have fallen on the salamanders. They're in the grass. They're on the ground. Some of them belong to the dove whose destroyed body is lying on the ground next to you. And the others, from their coloration, are recognizable as Cordelia's.
Well, shit. I think Olive's immediate reaction is just to screech and just, like, yell out, "Oh my God, Cordelia!" Just, like, in total shock.
With that being the first reaction,
Uh-oh.
a few seconds, I think, pass in stunned silence. Other than the crunch of heavy human boots some distance away. Cordelia, please roll me a death saving throw.
11.
Ooh.
All right, that's one past death save. Lucas, there are blood and feathers everywhere. They're on the ground, they're on the grass, they're on you, they're on your sister Olive. There is a mangled corpse of a mourning dove. The other two doves are nowhere to be seen. They've scattered. And there is the bleeding out form of your sister on the ground with a fairly mangled wing.
Cordy, Lucas will immediately go and he doesn't have any magic to do healing stuff, but I think in this moment of pure panic and fear, he's going to try and staunch the bleeding with whatever he's got. Can I make a medicine check?
Yeah, you can make a medicine check.
That's a 7, unfortunately. I think he's...
Okay.
There's so much blood. There's so much blood.
There's so much blood. I think you're shaken. You are shaking. And you also have wings. You don't have hands or opposable thumbs, and it's a little bit difficult to do medicine things as a bird.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Lucas is just like, Olive, I can't do anything. She keeps bleeding. Olive.
Okay. Let me think of something. Olive recalls her initial experience when she turned into a quail and remembers that when she dug into the ground with her talons, she did cause some damage, but was able to heal too. And so she focuses really hard on that healing element, focuses on the positivity, and digs her claws into the dirt. And a bed of flowers and vines encircles Cordelia's body on the ground. And yeah.
Cordelia, you recover 7 hit points. You are at 7.
All right.
And you come to. There is a horrible throbbing pain in your left wing.
Cordy, are you with us? Are you okay?
Cordy?
So, Cordy has had a very specific kind of upbringing. She's got some toughness in places you might not expect. She can roll with Instagram hate in a way that is, frankly, bad for a 12-year-old. But one thing she doesn't have a whole lot of experience with is physical harm. So the second she comes to, she is screaming. I don't want to be a bird! I don't want to be a bird anymore!
Cordy,
It's okay. It's okay. You're okay.
Cordy, you can't get too loud.
I don't want to actualize!
You're okay. You're okay.
Yeah,
Olive just hugs, brings open both her wings and just hugs Cordy as hard as she can.
Sobbing into your feathers like, I don't want to be a bird. I don't want to be a bird.
You're okay.
Lucas has a bird hand, aka a wing, on Cordelia's better wing, and is just immediately alert because Cordelia wakes up screaming. Still, quails can get super loud, and so he's looking around being like, oh my god, is anyone coming? And just trying to let Cordelia have her moment because that was fucking scary, but also being quite aware that there may be a human coming to pick up their game in any second.
I would like to have a perception roll.
From all of us or just Lucas?
Just Lucas. I think you're focused on comforting.
Okay. Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's an 8.
With an 8, you do hear, because I already said it, the crunch of human boots, somewhat far off, but approaching gradually. You smell gunpowder on the wind, and you see the salamanders in front of you looking around, looking back at you all tensely. With an 8, I think that's all you immediately gather.
Olive, Cordelia, we have to go. There's someone coming. We have to keep going. I'm so sorry.
No, you're right. We are not safe here. Cordy, can you move? Are you okay to move?
Can you get up on one of us?
I think so. I think so. And my feet are just kind of scrabbling, kind of against you and against the dirt.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try and help Cordelia get up on Olive. And like help as well. A little quail palanquin for the quail sister. But I think he will just look at the salamanders and just be like, lead the way. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
Leaving a trickle of blood on the ground, you continue slowly forward. You can't move very quickly with Cordelia in the state that she is in. However, you already weren't going very fast with the salamanders towing their large rock. The glitter, as a once living chipmunk called it. So you continue at a similar pace as to how you were already traveling. The quiet between you has a different tenor. The tension is higher. You can see that the salamanders are twitchier. You continue to hear the crunch of human boots crossing the field. You hear them approaching. The boots get louder and louder on your right. And I would like a group stealth check.
It's not good. It's 6. It's 6.
I got a 14.
24.
24 is good. That's
24 is good.
It brings 14 up to the midpoint, which is we've had worse.
We have had worse.
Cordelia is doing her best to bleed quietly.
Oh, jeez.
The boots get louder and louder, crunching one step closer at a time. You see the blades of grass off to the right of you, a little bit ahead, start to rustle, and then a enormous shadow falls over your group. You see standing over you a man wearing a orange jacket and holding a shotgun that still has just a bit of smoke trailing off the end. He looks around, starts to look down at the three of you, and then something catches his attention somewhere else. He abruptly looks to the left at the sound of mourning doves cooing and walks away.
Cordelia lets out a deep breath that sounds like a very, very low whistle. Just...
You keep moving. After not too much more time, less than an hour, perhaps only half an hour, perhaps only 20 minutes, time seems to be moving slower than it is with the amount of tension there is in the air. Another shadow looms over you, this one that of a large dogwood tree. Wide leaves rustling gently in the slight breeze, dappled light covering your path, and as the trunk rises in front of you, followed by the roots of this large tree are taller than you by about maybe twice your height. One of the roots is growing over a rock, a small granite boulder. And it is under this root in the sort of cavern, the cave between the root and the rock, that there is a hole, a little burrow, a tunnel leading down into the earth. It is just wide enough to permit the passage of the little wagon sled carrying the rock and the rock itself. You all can file in. It's most comfortable to go single file, but there is just barely enough room for two of you to walk abreast and descend down into the dark. And it does get dark. You quickly go down and turn a corner, and the light leaves you. None of you have good night vision. You're not nighttime birds. And unlike last night when you were flying with some illumination from the stars and moon, it is now pitch dark, and you can only navigate by merit of how close the walls are pressing in against you, letting you know where you are oriented in the tunnel. It gets cold and kind of clammy. Any of you who like can give me a perception check with disadvantage.
Can I help, Olive instead, to give Olive advantage, aka?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I think Lucas is gonna be like, hey, just shift Cordy over more on my back and, let Olive spend more mental resources and energy looking around.
Okay.
And Cordy, for her part, is kind of tucking the injured wing in away from the walls as much as possible. And, staring around, she'll definitely see something at some point.
Yeah, so Cordelia, you can give me a roll with disadvantage, and Olive can make a flat roll because the advantage and disadvantage cancel.
Well, that flat roll was a nat 1 with a +7, though, so making 8.
15.
Oh,
Wow, 15 with disadvantage. Okay.
The injured Cordy is so perceptive right now.
we are trying to focus on keeping her upright.
Exactly.
I'm so, I have finally had my moment of mortality sharpened consciousness.
You got shot.
Didn't even have to go to public school for it.
Oh my god.
Ooh.
The pain in your wing has gotten more distant. You're starting to get used to it a bit. You're starting to dissociate it from a little, but it's brought back into sharp focus when something that was stuck to the wall scrapes against your wing and becomes stuck in the coagulating blood of your starting to bleed less wound, starting to clot. It's something, at first you think it's a leaf that's made its way down here somehow. You kind of instinctively peck at it to preen to get it off of your injured wing. And you can't see it, but by its texture, you are able to identify it as a little shred of snakeskin.
Immediately.
Guys, I think there might be a snake skin.
Hey, calm down. Cordy, it's okay.
Do you want to scream in our feathers? Like, just scream in our back if you need to get that out real quick. Just do that.
I kind of duck my face down into Lucas's back and go, snake!
You good?
Yeah.
So you said a snake.
There's a little piece of a skin. Ow.
Don't.
At this point, as you all are walking, the path ahead of you straightens out enough that you are able to see the rock, the glitter being towed at the front of your line of people. And in that dim, glittering amethyst light, you see illuminated the shedded snakeskin that Cordelia has in her beak. And also with that light, you see more pieces of skin here and there, just on the walls and the ceiling where rocks have scraped it off.
So, is this sorcerer a snake?
Maybe so. I don't feel good about this. This feels very not safe, especially with Cordy in this condition.
What choice do we have?
I don't want to be a bird anymore.
I know. Yeah. No, we have to talk to this Brilda. Just...
I mean, worst comes to worst, do you think you could heal Cordy again?
Yeah, let me try.
Make it look less... Sorry, Cordy, it's just... I don't like the idea of a snake looking at you in your state right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, right, it uses a use of wild shape. So I've already used one of my two. So I can use the other one, and that just means I won't be able to wild shape. Is that worth for another 2d6? Probably, honestly.
Probably 2d6?
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so she digs her claws into the dirt again, and since Cordy is still on our backs, it sort of just, like, encircles all of us, and then just, like, intertwines into Cordy's hurt wing in particular, and flowers start to bloom.
All of the flowers appear in shades of purple and periwinkle and violet. Your wing has stopped bleeding.
Kind of gently try to flap it. Go, ugh. Okay. It's a little better, I think.
Yeah, maybe don't try and fly for a little bit, okay?
Hopefully we don't have to worry about flying after we talk to this snake sorceress.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Or wings crossed. Sorry.
As you talk and walk forward, the reverberation of your voice in your ears changes as the chamber before you opens up out of the tunnel. You emerge into a somewhat large open space. You can't quite see the edges of it. The amethyst geode is not quite that bright, but you know it's at least 30 or 40 feet across. You don't see anything other than it being a large, earthy room, hard-packed earth, bits of rock here and there sticking out. The salamanders pull the geode into the center of the room and then step a bit back from it and bow. What do the three of you do?
I'm bowing. I don't know who I'm bowing to, but I'm bowing.
Honestly, same, and I think at the same time I'm trying to squint my eyes and really see what I can make out here.
I try to slide off of Lucas's back and hide behind him.
Give me stealth. I will tell you that I've already rolled perception, and that roll was a natural 20 plus 7.
Oh my god!
Well, considering that my roll just now was a natural 1, I don't think it matters.
And mine was also a natural 1.
Do I roll stealth?
You can if you'd like to.
It's a 19 plus 2, so that's 21. Not better than I thought I'd do.
You manage to stand kind of behind some of the salamanders and your siblings.
You somehow make me more obvious by doing this.
You can't obscure your presence, but you're able to cluster in close enough to your siblings that it's not immediately obvious whether there are 2 or 3 quails there.
Okay, that works for me.
Schrodinger's quail.
You hear, but do not see, shifting dirt and dust in the chamber as something moves and slides against the earthy floor. A tongue unseen tastes the air around you. Slick, what have you brought for me?
I've brought the glitter of Crittervale, as requested.
That's so helpful, Slick. Well done. And I also see that you've brought some little friends along with you. You've done everything I've asked and more. The shifting dirt gets louder, and you become aware of a massive presence, as if the wall itself is moving around you, encircling your entire group as well as the salamanders. You hear again, very, very close behind the 3 of you, "Hello, little quails."
Hello there.
I out loud go,
For what do I owe the pleasure of your company, little quails?
If Olive and Cordelia doesn't speak up, Lucas will, but I'm gonna give you 2 a chance to say something just because it's Lucas. No.
Cordelia is focused on remembering how to breathe. It's not going great.
I think Olive is sort of in stunned silence and is gathering her thoughts. So Lucas might be the one to speak here first, and she'll jump in.
Oh, good luck to us all. I think Lucas is going to turn around and, trying to keep his calm, just say, yeah, we were hired by Slick to help with getting that shiny, and he has informed us that you could assist us with the matter of magic.
Of course, Grandmother Brilda is an expert of things of the magical variety, but Slick has brought me the glitter as part of my own deal with him, as part of my well-established relationship. So, what would you ask, and what can you offer? There is one, a small one, among the 3 of you who seems to be injured. If you would be open to culling your number, that would be payment most acceptable.
No. Lucas is, trying to figure out what he can think of in his head. And I think the only thing he's got is the fact that they can do things as humans that quails can't. So the thing is that we used to be human. And we would all like to turn back into human, us and our 3 parents. And in exchange, as humans, we can make this tree of yours more secure for your liking.
Give me a persuasion roll.
13.
You've never heard a snake laugh before.
Help from humans. I've already gotten quite help enough from humans of late. You ask me to restore your forms. Why would I grant you such dangerous powers? Are the dangerous powers you now wield not enough?
Any of you may give me an insight roll, if you so please.
I'm gonna try.
I also will try, and I got a 9.
3.
I'm not going to give you anything else from that.
11.
You clearly, from what she said, she has more detailed knowledge of your situation than perhaps might be expected, but you're not sure what to read into that.
I'm trying to think back to the song that I heard. There was definitely something about deals, which we're doing, and there was definitely something about fangs, which I probably should have seen coming here.
The folk song is fairly scant on those details. The line that says the most about her is, "She sees what is fake, her magic's right fate." And the line about the deal at the end is simply, "Her bite is quick death, her fangs we will feel, if we cannot make a favorable deal."
Yep.
If there's nothing adequate to offer, I can always eat all of you. That was my original plan.
Have you ever heard of social media?
That's what I was gonna do.
I'm listening.
Do you want to be the most famous snake?
I do believe I already am.
I've not heard of you until now.
Really, you came here with no idea where you were going?
No one else could tell anything other than vague shit about what you were. That's good for an aura of mystique, but it's a lot more profitable to be a little more open with who you are. And the more famous you are, the more things we as humans could get you. This rock right here, it's small fry. We can get you so many shinies.
Do you even know what this rock is?
I'd love a refresher.
The glitter is a rare rock. A rare rock grown only in places which no longer exist. A rare rock which Crittervale has held in its possession for a very, very long time, and from which they have enjoyed numerous benefits which they have kept to themselves and selfishly not shared with other denizens of the forest, like my dear salamander friends, Slick and his compatriots. But no worries to Slick, for I can provide the paltry trickle of magic necessary to foster the intelligence in the lowest of creatures. No, I need the magic of the glitter for something far more important. Due to the activities of 6 quails, though they were not quails at the time, I need this rock to revive my mate Phoebe, who was slain under your wagon of war. It is everything I want to take the glitter and perhaps a meal of you 3 small quail chicks, and in doing so, reclaim a bit of the power which I lent you, with which I had hoped, and it seems it paid off, that you would be able to accomplish things that Slick by himself could not, and unlike your parents, perhaps would not have the sense to know better. So now, I have quite generously laid my cards on the table, and you think that rather than the delicious blood in your veins and the lent magic, which I would appreciate reclaiming, I would take something as trifling as greater fame than I need?
Oh, I want to throw a fireball so bad.
No, Lucas, you can't. Stop. Control yourself.
I know.
Great, Brilda, I thank you. It's an honor to be in your presence, and maybe you were the root cause of our transformation just to help you obtain this rare artifact. Maybe you wanted us to learn some sort of lesson after the demise of your mate, and I truly am sorry for that. But if it's any consolation, we may have accidentally slain your mate, and we have also accidentally slain for the purposes of getting you the glitter. The past 24 hours have been life-changing and perspective-altering for us, processing the unfathomable deeds we have done. I am so sorry about your mate. I really am, from the bottom of my heart. And if you can find the good graces in the bottom of your heart to turn us back, we will be forever in your debt.
Roll me persuasion. The DC is 20.
Oh, God. That's 17.
Oh! No.
You'll have to do better than something as abstract as the debts owed by children. I'm not averse to having individuals in my debt, but I need something tangible in the now.
Then tell us, O Great One, what is it that you desire? What would please you? But for the record, my sister is off the table.
Would you offer your parents? They're larger, more of a meal.
Fuck.
Are you sure we can't throw a fireball at this bitch?
You know what? I'm coming around to your point of view, Lucas.
Or,
if you have such attachment to your kin, perhaps having already gone so far as to take mortal steps against the long-term residents in Crittervale, perhaps as their intelligence leaves them in the coming days, you could distract them long enough to let a snake into the chipmunk nest.
I can't let more innocent lives be taken. I'm sorry. But here's what I can offer you. Take me. I have the ability to transform into other animals. I can transform into a larger beast that will be a feast for you for days. Take me and leave the rest of them alone.
Olive? Olive!
I will accept this only if the other two agree to be in my debt.
Yeah, that's not happening.
For otherwise, that's hardly a better offer than my original plan of eating the three of you.
Well, we've tried being nice. I've spent so long this whole experience trying to control things, to keep people safe, to keep people in check, to control the chaos. I think now might be time for a little chaos. Lucas?
Fireball!
While Olive is making her speech, can I be attempting to hide?
Give me a stealth roll. And I would like all three of you to roll initiative.
Here we go.
Let's do this.
That is a nat 20 for a 25.
Oh my god.
Okay.
My initiative is 7.
And my initiative is 22.
My initiative is 16.
25 stealth beats a dirty 20 on perception. Oh, that's a good initiative roll, though. Let's see. Lucas, what is your AC?
15.
You manage to dart out of the way. There's an incredible rush of air as her head snakes forward and she strikes at you. You feel the side of her jaw against your wingtip. You do feel, as she starts to withdraw, just a little bit of moisture drip from her mouth onto your wing, and it sizzles a bit, and then it gets kind of numb. It's a bit like numbing peppers. Then, Olive, what is your AC?
11.
That is below a 24.
Yeah, you know what?
She withdraws, darts forward again, and wraps around you. You are grappled. 7 points of bludgeoning damage as you are squeezed. Cordelia, it is your turn.
Okay, so I can't see shit.
No, you can't.
In the meantime, I do know exactly where Olive was in relation to me and can kind of get a sense of like, okay, that's no longer feathers, that's snake. I roll to stab the suddenly snake. Yeah, that is a 12.
12 does not hit. You make contact with the scales and it slips off them. You feel it almost catch, like you just got the angle a little bit wrong.
Okay. I'm gonna kind of hop back real quick from the snake and then try to circle to the side a little bit, keeping the snake between me and the shiny. And I'm kind of tripping shit the entire time.
Olive, it is your turn. You are constricted. You are grappled.
then I'm going to cast Misty Step.
Hell yeah!
Or basically like right behind Lucas, because I know what's coming. That's a bonus action, actually. I take off one of my leaf shoes, and I use Druidcraft to light it on fire like a torch.
Love it. The room is lit up by your shoey torch. Not the entire room, it's fairly large, but you can see kind of your third of it, including the portion of Brilda, which is near you, which includes some of her body and her head. You also see that there are quite a lot of side passages in here, in addition to what looks like some runes and carvings in the ground and ceiling that the light was too dim to make out before. You no longer have disadvantage when attacking.
Woo!
That makes it Lucas's turn.
Fireball! I think I will focus on Brilda's head.
Once again, the sound of the early 2000s vibrates in the air around you. You feel the notes of musicians of decades past ruffle your feathers. I would say you get goosebumps, but you don't. You get quail bumps. Percussion waves blast out in a concentrated line from your beak as you invoke the spell. And where they get to the location Brilda's head is in, they detonate. In the split second before the detonation goes off, Brilda, knowing what your powers are, recoils and so avoids taking the brunt of the explosion. But she does get burned by the cacophonous, ringing, reverberating explosion that goes off in this constrained space. All of you are deafened for half a second, not enough to mechanically affect you. You also all feel a bit lightheaded suddenly, as there's a lot less oxygen in this room. Brilda hisses in pain. You may take your move action.
I'm going to try and move further into the tunnel. Probably back the way I came.
That will take the initiative back around to her. You have ducked out of the way and thus are not easily snappable. She is going to try to bite Olive, who you're no longer covering with your body.
Thanks, Lucas.
Sorry! We're gonna die, aren't we?
That's a natural 20.
Oh, God.
Olive, you take 12 damage, and you need to give me a Constitution saving throw.
I'm gonna have to regardless, because that puts me to 0.
It's not the only save we're making.
Yeah, exactly.
12 puts you to 0?
I only had 19 and I already took 7.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Gwen, you might actually kill us all.
That was a 7. No, that was a 6.
No!
Oh, God.
Her fangs sink into your side. You hear your feathers and bones alike cracking and crunching. You feel a burning, tingling, followed by numbness spread through you. All of your muscles lock up, and then you black out.
And that's our healer gone, so we're all gonna die now.
Oh, gosh.
For her second attack, she is going to try to do another grapple, this one at Cordelia.
Who is rapidly catching up on the trauma points that she missed.
That's a natural 4, though, and I don't believe a 9 surpasses your armor class.
It does not.
It is your turn again. Your brother has ran back the hallway where you came from. Your sister is unconscious next to you.
Yep, that's happening. Cool. Well, she very kindly put her body next to me. So I'm gonna attempt to stab it real quick. Just straight up pure panic. I don't think an 11 is gonna do it.
No.
And I skid off the scales again. I'm going shit. And I am gonna try to bolt back after Lucas.
Pick up the sister.
You grab your fallen sister and dart back into the tunnel you came from. Olive, it is your turn to give me a death saving throw.
Here we go. That was an 18.
You have 1 out of 3 succeeded death saving throws. Lucas, you see Cordelia run after you, dragging Olive.
Vicious mockery at the snake.
When in doubt.
Wisdom save of 14.
That's a natural 15.
Oh.
Okay. That doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just help with running out with?
Yeah, with both of you working together, you can move your normal movement, dragging your sister.
Okay.
So you are now 30 feet down the tunnel. It's dark once again. You've left the shoe behind, but you can still see in this section of the tunnel, which is straight, the glitter in the center of the chamber behind you. And so you can also see when that glitter is occluded by Brilda's head turning around the corner. She does not pursue you into the tunnel immediately, but she opens her mouth and you see now her eyes, which you couldn't see before, but now you do see them because they're glowing blue.
Nope.
Along with her fangs, which are also glowing blue with crackling energy.
Nope.
I need dexterity saving throws from both of you.
Have fun, siblings.
That is a 16.
14.
Cordelia, you take 26 points of damage as a lightning bolt shoots from Brilda's mouth and electrocutes you directly. You are not able to jump out of the way with your injured wing and also trying to support your already unconscious sister. Lucas, you are able to press yourself against the side of the tunnel, but there's limited space with which to avoid this bolt of electricity. You take 13 points of lightning damage. How are people doing?
25.
I'm at 1. I'm crispy, and I'm pissed.
It's also your turn.
I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do about that.
Yeah, I don't think we're surviving this one, folks.
I don't know that we are.
I take my free action to let out an ear-splitting quail shriek. This does nothing, include make me feel better. I guess I jump forward and try and stab her in the roof of the mouth, because she just squawked lightning at us. 14?
14 hits.
I'm not even thinking about defeating the snake, escaping the snake. I'm just mad at the snake. I just want to stab her a little bit. I'm kind of squawking, "Oh, real big snake sorcerer, gonna beat up a bunch of teeny quails who don't even know how to be quails! We could have done something about the way people treat snakes. We have 3 million followers on Instagram!"
Olive, I need a death saving throw.
Yep. That is a success. 13.
All right, that's 2 successes. Lucas.
Can I see the stone?
When Cordelia stabs Brilda, she briefly withdraws and shakes herself, and you can see the glitter. Yes.
Eldritch Blast.
At the glitter.
Yes.
Give me a ranged attack roll.
Are we about to remove intelligence for all of Crittervale? Is this what's happening?
That's 22.
Your Eldritch Blast slams into the geode. You don't need to roll damage. It's crystal. It's a geode. It's fragile. It splinters apart into a million pieces. Brilda shouts, "No! No!" and withdraws and is focused solely on the glitter right now. She has momentarily forgotten the three of you because the object which she was going to use to revive her dead life partner has been destroyed. You still have a move.
Fuck you, bitch! And keep running.
All right, you're sprinting out of there. I'm going to say that Brilda is going to take a turn to be frantically and futilely trying to gather up the shards of this. After spending several seconds pushing at the shards, licking the shards, she turns back towards the tunnel, unseen by you running the other direction, but she does turn back towards the tunnel with murderous intent. Cordelia, it's your turn.
We gotta collapse this tunnel. We gotta collapse this tunnel.
Are there any shards near me?
Give me a luck check if you would like there to be. Give me a flat d20 roll. Call high or low before you do.
All right. Hi. That's a 20.
Nice.
With a 20, there are several large shards of crystal around you.
All right. I scoop as many of them up as I can in kind of one pull of my good wing, and then I turn and continue running down the tunnel. If I can reach a curve in the tunnel, and assuming that Lucas is still dragging all of along and we can hear she's breathing, probably gonna be fine. It's probably fine.
We have time.
If I can get to a curve in the tunnel, I would like to start moving stealthily and attempt to hide.
Olive, I need a death saving throw.
You got it. That's a failure.
Yep.
That's a 3.
All right, 2 successes and 1 failure. Lucas.
After Cordelia gets past the tunnel, I'm going to try to Eldritch Blast the top of the tunnel to get it to collapse in on itself.
Your Eldritch Blast slams with the power of every emo feeling you've ever written into your Sharpie-stained journal. The ceiling shudders, cracks, clods of earth and rocks. This section of it is collapsed. You don't think it's collapsed beyond the ability to be dug out of, but it's collapsed enough to give you time to escape. You are able to run the rest of the way out of the tunnel without anyone being able to catch up to you, but while you do, is there anything you want to do while your sister is rolling death saves?
I know that I don't know very much about medicine, but Lucas seems to know a little bit more about medicine. So I turn to Lucas as we kind of pause after this cave and I go, what do you want me to do? And I try to give him the help.
Awesome. That is a 17. I think Lucas is like, all right, staunch the bleeding over there. I'm gonna try and see if I can realign some stuff. Oh my god.
Olive, you come back at 1 hit point. You wake up. Your body is still locked up. You cannot move.
Okay. Olive just with a very strained breath just goes, Lucas? Cordy, what's going on?
We destroyed the rock.
If you want to do further damage to the tunnel, now that you have time, you can keep casting Eldritch Blast.
Oh, I'm gonna keep blasting as we go, just blasting as we go back.
All right, so anyway, he starts blasting. While that's happening, I'm looking at Olive going, are you okay? Are you awake? Are you okay?
I think so. Oh my god, Cordy, you don't look so good yourself.
Yeah, it's fine. It's
The tunnel collapses completely as the three of you exit it. You hear the deep rumble beneath you as the better part of the structure collapses. And the three of you feel, through a connection you didn't realize you had, the already injured Brilda is crushed under falling rock. And the three of you, in a spray of dirt and debris and blood, revert to your human forms and find yourselves lying on your backs in somebody's backyard. There is a rural farmhouse a couple 100 feet away. There's also a hunter walking around who turns to you.
Holy shit, what the... You kids okay?
No! What just... Are we... We're not birds? We're not birds!
You still can't move, Olive, for another minute.
I know. She's just like completely sitting, like, just like yelling as she cannot move.
Oh, God.
Cordy, I have to assume, is just covered in blood, not looking particularly good. But, we lost our parents. Can you go see if there's some lost grown-ups, like a ways over there? And points back in the direction that feels like it should be the direction of Crittervale.
Yeah, sure. Come with me.
And we are going to pan up from here, because at your current size, it's not hard to find your three confused parents somewhere just a little ways into the woods. 2 or 3 days of walking for quails and salamanders isn't very far for a human. The 6 of you reunite. As our story here comes to a close, what do each of you carry from this?
I think Olive is just sort of stunned by the whole situation, and she's like so thankful to be a human again, and so torn up about the horrors that they faced as quails. I don't know, she feels that this life on the road, in this, van or whatever it is, like, she's unintentionally been harming all these creatures along the way, whether it's roadkill or things she's stepped on in the forests or whatever little insects that she has just paid no attention to. And suddenly all of that is just is starting to boil up inside her. And she feels such sorrow for Brilda and for Brilda's mate and for Gerald, and has just grown a newfound respect for nature and the world around her and all of these creatures.
We see in the coming days on the van, your family has been changed by this experience. Your parents, after dealing with whatever this was, as much as they were putting up a face of being excited for a wedding, that was a distraction. They have not been okay this entire time either, and they take the van on the road back towards the actual home you have, an actual real home where some other folks in the Polycule are still living, and you have not seen them for months.
Jesus Christ.
There's a moment where Olive realizes if she gets into just the right state of mind, she can still talk to animals. Where do we see Cordelia?
So Cordelia milked a lot about appearing out of nowhere, beaten within an inch of her life. There were many extravagances, many very easily accepted arguments for the fancy ice cream or to stay up late as she's recovering. And then once she's waited it out a little bit and people start talking about, okay, what are we doing next? Where are we going? She pitches a fit. Like, I am done moving around. I'm sick of this. I want to go home and take a class or go to school. I want to take up fencing. And she really kind of centers her attention on, like, I want to stick around and get good at something. And as she does this, and as she starts focusing on the future and on things that she might be able to decide to do, the acting out and the stealing kind of fade. And she's still giving Lucas shit for his Sharpie-covered hands, but it's got a different vibe to it now.
Cordelia enrolls in a normal public school. She's already been shot. What's the risk, really?
Wow. 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 Oh, God. Come on,
Is absolutely insufferable during active shooter drills.
That's horrifying.
Oh my
hate
god.
that.
This has taken such a dark turn.
She is also very good at fencing.
Cordelia, did you do anything with those shards?
No, I've been hanging on to them the whole time. I was thinking about making them into earrings.
I think you have them in a drawer in your normal bedroom, and one day you open that drawer and a couple mice that were sitting around a bottle cap table playing a tiny card game look up at you in fear and dart away back somewhere in your dresser.
And I smile a little bit and I break open one of those little cheese crackers that comes in the pack of 6 and kind of drop some of the crumbs in the drawer, and I close it again.
A few things happen then for Lucas. I think the first is he's going to go back to that dogwood tree, dig up the rest of those shards, and just sort of toss them about where he estimates Crittervale to be. Different points, right? I think he makes sure he tries to stay out of sight of Crittervale, but I think he feels so bad for killing a dude and for what? To almost get killed himself. After that, he has a very intense fear of snakes, but I think he takes life a little more seriously now. He still likes fire, but it's with less of that cavalier, childish attitude of just set everything on fire. He's a little lost for a bit. He's not quite at the age where going back into the public school system will do him any good socially. I think he actually gets into blacksmithing. It's the closest thing to working with fire in a productive way.
Lucas is prodigious at blacksmithing because he is able to handle red-hot metal with his bare hands, and furthermore, is able to heat that metal further without the aid of a furnace or bellows. And that's our game.
Jesus Christ.
Our happy, fun little jaunt into Crittervale.
Yeah, everything was totally happy and great.
Happy little fun jaunt. Nothing bad happened.
Absolutely not.
Turned into a horror story.
That was our third and final episode of Quailful Polymorph on the Crimes and Cantrips podcast. This tale of quails was brought to you by Miri Baker as Cordelia, Fennix as Lucas, Beatrix Ryle as Olive, and me, Gwen Malmquist, as your narrator and editor. Additional music, environmental ambiences, and sound effects are by Epidemic Sound and Michael Gelfi Studios. For bonus content, help us keep telling you stories at patreon.com/crimesandcantrips. Thanks for listening. Catch us next time for more crimes and more cantrips.